Welcome back. Republicans gathering in Wisconsin Dells for their annual state convention this weekend ahead of the November elections. The meeting comes amid scrutiny following the April state Supreme Court race when liberal Justice-elect Chris Taylor beat Maria Lazar by 20 points.
The attention, though, all in now on November. We talked Thursday with State Party Chairman Brian Schimming, the target of several recent attempts to oust him.
We'll get to convention weekend in a second. First, I'm just curious your thoughts when we look at the state capitol, what happened with this tax relief deal. I know this isn't necessarily your lane, but I'm curious, do you know how much Tom Tiffany got involved in swaying some of these votes to ensure this did not pass the state Senate?
Yeah, no idea on Congressman Tiffany's involvement there. I do, strong feelings either way on that issue, but I think what Tom Tiffany really, what you saw out of that is, given the choice between more spending or less, he's for less, and wants, if you're going to send money back to the taxpayers, you should send it back and not carve off too much of it for spending. So I think he came out of that fine. I don't know what will proceed going forward, other than I think the Assembly got the vote that they were interested in getting, and the Senate probably did too.
I want to talk about convention weekend, coming off of the April election specifically. Some contention from some members of the party. How serious were the efforts to try to remove you from your position?
Well, there were folks out there, and they've never been a majority of the board, but there were folks out there that were upset about the. But I just say to people on the issue of the Supreme Court races, look, we've been through 3 years where the first of the 3 years where the candidate wouldn't take our money, literally would not take our money because it didn't want, the second year, last year, we put almost $10 million into that race. The untold story on that is the state party moved almost $10 million into that race. And this year, I think Maria Lazar, the kind of challenge for Maria Lazar is the incumbent didn't get out until almost September. And that is a really late hour to start a statewide campaign. And I think she felt the effects of that later. But I'm excited about where we are right now. We're raising money. We're doing all the right things to win in November. So I'm excited about where we are.
And Tom Tiffany, a few weeks ago, right here on this show, backed you as staying on as party chairman. What is the party's role between now and November for the big races?
Oftentimes, especially on our side, the candidates, their campaigns like to do a lot of the electronic TV, TV, radio, all those sort of things. We tend to be more on organization, and that's where we're set up very well. We got almost 5,500 volunteers to step up and be poll workers by the deadline. We're putting together a new program. In fact, it's in effect to recruit new additional volunteers that don't always get into it in the off year. It's easier to get people in presidential years, right? Yeah. And so we're in an off year here. So, but that is working great. We're deploying field staff. I'm hiring like crazy right now. So the momentum's good.
As the delegates are convened in the Dells, I'm curious what you were telling them about party unity and unifying between now and November.
Telling them the same thing I feel when I go all over the state. You both know I spend a lot of time traveling the state, speaking at events and doing things around the state. The mood is great. It's very, very good in terms of, it's interesting because 4 years ago we had our challenges. We had contentious primaries for attorney general and governor. We have neither of those things this time. So the party is literally unified around Tom Tiffany and behind Eric Toney. So that, I have to say, as state chairman, that's super helpful. The person who has that problem right now is my counterpart in the Democratic primary, where they have an 8-way Democratic mess in their gubernatorial primary where nobody's, over low double digits. They have a disaster in the Democratic gubernatorial primary right now.
You mentioned this being an off year. How do Republicans win in November with President Trump not on the ballot?
Yeah. So I think what we'll see there is everyone's got to do a better job, coalitions, everyone, in going out and talking to voters. The president got 1,000,007 votes, most ever for a presidential candidate in Wisconsin, Republican, in Wisconsin last time. So there's a lot of those voters out there that, maybe kind of Trump-only voters, or maybe they don't always show up in off years. So part of our job, just part of it, is to identify those folks and low propensity voters and make sure they understand how much this election matters, and it matters a lot.
As delegates are leaving the Dells and going back to their homes across the state, what do you need their takeaway to be from this convention ahead of this November election?
Not to leave the convention. I always say, when I used to speak at Trump rallies and conventions in the past, I always tell people the win is not in this room, it's out there. If people leave that convention and go out and immediately start working for that win, we'll have a good November.
The path to November is well underway. Republican Party Wisconsin Chair Brian Schimming. Brian, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Great to be here.
Up next, bringing you Inside Police Week in Washington.